Dude, I finished week 1 of this HIT program today.
And you're
And,
still walking?
and I'm not going to be able to walk tomorrow. Like it's for sure.
What's going to be fun about that is we're going to a wedding tomorrow where you have to wear heels.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm wearing to that because it's not going to be good.
You're going to be doing the waddle
It's possible.
or crawling.
It's maybe both.
I'll have to drop you off right at the entrance.
That could be because it was all legs today. So sumo squats with weights and all the things. So it's
Hey, do what you got to do.
yeah, week 1 done of an 8-week program.
Good job, girl.
Yeah.
Well, let's go hit it with this pod.
All right, welcome to episode 4 of Now. We are excited to welcome Jeff Sutherlin. He is one of our colleagues out of Gilbert, Arizona. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're great. We're just really excited to not only have you as part of our partner within the EXP world, but we're extraordinarily grateful for you to join us today and provide some value to those that are listening specific to prospecting. Yeah, we're lucky to have this guy. You guys are those that are listening will learn a lot. Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here. You guys are absolute winners, and I love working with you. And I'm sure we'll touch on that. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful today I can give some good nuggets to help people improve their business. That's what it's about.
Perfect. Well, before we get into the nitty gritty of things, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, your background, and who Jeff is?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I've been in the business 23 years. Born and raised in Indiana. Moved out to Phoenix in 1987. My first real career was at Intel Corporation. So I was a supply chain manager at Intel Corporation. Worked really hard, got my MBA. And after 7 years of working at that company, they give you a sabbatical. So I actually took a few months off with my family, my kids, traveled. And then I sat back down in my cubicle and I was like, I just don't think I want to do this anymore. I'd like to do something where I'm around more people. And so I said, I want to try real estate. So the next week I interviewed at a company called KB Home, a national home builder. And I was in a large room with like 30 applicants for like 1 or 2 positions. And they asked me, they went around the room, they said, Jeff, should we hire you here in this company? And I said, well, last week I quit a Fortune 100 company. And next year, at this time, I'll be your number 1 agent.
I love that.
And everybody laughed at me. And so that year after that, I was number 1 on the leaderboard. And they ended up giving me communities. I was a regional sales manager. They saw I had a management background. So I ended up leading like 50 agents in 14 communities. And then in 2004, I made a change. I went over to be a team leader at Keller Williams, which was a great experience. I did that for 4 years, and I took 2 agencies from about 250 agents to about 530, which was really exciting, and helped them grow. I was in charge of training and recruiting and compliance, had the broker working for me as well, and really loved that company, loved that experience. And then in 2009, I decided to really step out and with a lot of courage, and I started my own company in Chandler, Arizona called United Brokers Group, and started that from scratch with a partner of mine, and we grew that to 250 agents. And I sold that in 2015. And then I took kind of a break, ladies, from real estate. I was kind of a little bit burned out with managing real estate agents and just building companies. So I took a little bit of a break. I did some consulting, and I worked for a title company as well. I thought, well, this is an easy transition. So that was kind of my way of staying in the industry, and I did take a break. And then in 2017, I started to get approached by EXP Realty and some heavy hitters over there. And I really wasn't emotionally ready for it yet to make the move back into real estate. So I kind of sat on it for a year, but I did a lot of due diligence, and I realized that was an incredible model. But at that point, there weren't a whole lot of people at EXP. So I was kind of waiting for some big names to come into the market. And one of my good friends, his name's Curtis Johnson. He used to work for me years ago at Keller Williams. And when he joined, I called him that day and I said, well, we need to meet. So the next morning we had breakfast and I literally signed up that day because I knew when Curtis joined, he saw the same thing I saw. And it's just unfortunate I didn't sponsor Curtis.
Right.
But I joined that next day. So the rest has just been an amazing story, and my organization's almost at 200 people. I love what I do, and I love helping agents win. I'm a bivocational pastor, so I work in that role on Thursdays typically. And so I work with a lot of the elderly in the church, and it's a very different world, right? And so I'm doing real estate most of the time, and then I do that part time. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, there you have it. You can tell Jeff has an enormous amount of experience from a corporate background and building teams and being independent brokerage and growing his organization with EXP. So you certainly have the credit, the street cred to help our listeners get some tips from you on how to increase their production and do some super efficient and effective prospecting.
Absolutely. Prospecting, you go into a lot of trainings in real estate and they start talking about mindset. And I used to think, okay, here we go again. We're going to talk about mindset. But really it is at the core of success. When it comes to prospecting, you have to have your head screwed on right and your heart right. So I have been doing the Miracle Morning for years. And I'm sure many of your listeners know what that is. It's a book written by Hal Elrod, and I follow these 6 steps every morning. The acronym is SAVERS, so SAVERS. So 5 minutes of silence. If you've never tried it, it's hard. Just clearing your mind and not letting anything in for 5 minutes. 5 minutes of affirmations. So I will walk around and speak out into the universe, affirmations, because we have to rewire our brain every day. Because if you listen to everything that's going on around you, it can be quite toxic and negative. So we have to rewire our heads every day to think about positive things and focus on, all the things we're grateful for. And then V is visualization. I was an athlete. I was a baseball player. I was a swimmer. I love working with athletes. I can visualize like a pitch on the outside corner. I can visualize a lot of things in sports, and we should be doing the same thing in real estate in our whatever career we're doing actually, is visualizing our day. Who we're going to meet with, who we're not going to meet with. Are we closing deals? What is the goal for today? What does a win look like for you today? And I will start thinking about that. I'll jot some things down, right, that are really important to me that I can do that day to win. And E is exercise. So I'm in the gym at 5 a.m. and I'm lucky. I'm an empty nester. I can do that. And plus, I'm older, and us old guys, we get up early. So I get up real early. So I'm in the gym at 5. I have an hour there. And then the R is for reading. I think it's really important that everybody reads books continuously. And that sets the tone for me as well every day. And then finally, S is scribing, which is journaling and writing about what my goals are going to be for the day. So that sets the right mindset for me to go out and win for my family, win for the people in my organization. And to me, it's about loving people at a high level. I always tell people it's not about sales to me. It's about out-loving my competition. If I care about people and I'm passionate about what I do and I'm passionate about them, then I win in prospecting, whether it be agent attraction or for production. So that's how I kind of go into every day.
Wow, I love that. How long does it take you to do that each morning, would you say?
Yeah, so 5 minutes silence, 5 minutes affirmations, 5 minutes visualization, exercise 60 minutes, reading 20 minutes, 5 minutes scribing. So whatever that is, like an hour and a half, hour and 45.
I've watched you on the boot camp that you so graciously allowed our team to access. So I'm very familiar with the SAVERS acronym because you talk about that and give examples on that resource. So
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. So, to me, that's important. And then I usually start in my sphere. We've all read that great book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. That was a good one, by Gary Keller. And I've always kind of used a lot of those concepts, and there's a formula in there. It's if you take the number of people in your database divided by 12 multiplied by 2, you will get the transactions per year that you're looking for. So there's only two problems in real estate, in my opinion. We complicate this business. It's not that hard. There's two issues. Either your database is not big enough or the relationships within your database are not strong enough, right? We're putting new people in, and we're doing that through a mechanism while we're meeting new people. We're prospecting. So we have new blood coming into your database continuously. And if you're not doing that, it's slowly dying. So you have to have some mechanism that's working. And then once they're in your database, you have to have a way to touch them on a regular basis. If you have both those dials moving, you're in business. And if you're consistent, which most agents are not. So when I teach time blocking. If you look at my calendar, it's a very, very, very busy calendar, and it's very intentional. So if you're intentional and you're doing the right activities every day, you're not going to have an income that goes like this, which most agents have. You're going to have an income that's very predictable.
I love that. So with your time blocking, how many hours a week or a day do you recommend for prospecting?
I do 2 hours a day, 9 to 11. And then I might do some later in the day too, right? So 2 hours minimum a day. And then sometimes even Saturday mornings. So it's usually 10 to 13 hours a week.
And then you touched on, your sphere, people reaching out to their sphere. But what about those agents that have fear of contacting people that they don't know? So, I mean, we call that a cold call. So I just talked to an agent yesterday, and she's terrified of building that part of her business, talking to people that she doesn't know and promoting herself and her ability to help people with real estate needs. So what would you say to people like her?
So call reluctance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you need to reframe the whole idea of this not being a sales call. It's about caring for people, and it's about believing, first of all, in yourself. If somebody's really, really scared to call somebody, you have to kind of look deep down into your heart on why. What's the real reason? And, I'm a big believer that we are instilled programs as a child that actually stay with us throughout our life. And those programs are running subconsciously. We don't even know they're running. And those actually impact the way that we interact with the world. So if you don't have a lot of confidence, that's coming from somewhere, and you have to at some point address that. And I've gone to some pretty high level training to attack those demons, right? Those things that are getting in your way from breaking through. And it could just be something really small, that's keeping you from breaking through. But to answer your question directly, you have to learn scripts and dialogues. I was never really a big script and dialogue guy, but then I was like, you know what? I need to be coachable. I need to learn this and learn from people that are going before me. And then it's a matter of doing reps. You have to have the courage to finally just say, I'm going to do this. And once you start doing it, you realize it's not that hard at all, right? It's not that hard. And, so you have to get your practice in. The best hitters in the world take a lot of batting practice, and if you're a great hitter in baseball, you're failing 70% of the time. If you fail 70% of the time, you're considered to be a world-class Major League Baseball player, and you're failing 70% of the time. So, keep in mind, we're not going to hit it out of the park every time, but you got to get in the batter's box and you got to swing the bat. So,
well, and if you don't swing the bat, then you're already failing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you guys are a perfect example of people that are swinging the bat. You guys are absolute leaders, and you're doing it day to day to day. And that's why you're just you're attracting great people into your life. It's very exciting to see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you were talking about, talking about these are part of the beliefs that are built in, and it's hard to break that cycle. And I was actually in my CEO Vistage group yesterday and heard a speaker talk on this. And he said most of these innate beliefs are cultivated before you're even 8 years old. I thought that was a little shocking, but
I believe it.
It aligns with what you were saying.
It's so true. I mean, I deal with, I counsel a lot of people, especially in my pastoral role, and a lot of things come out, and if you look back at your life, some of the hard things that have happened, and those are part of our identity, and we don't really realize that impacts the way that we interact. It impacts our confidence, and I just always like to remind people that I believe, you're a child of God, first of all,
Mhm.
so you have tremendous power, and you're meant to live a life of abundance, not scarcity. So you're meant to do great things, and so if you can get into somebody's personal power, it's boy, a lot of things can change. And then it's a matter of execution, right? And I can go over all the little levers I'm pulling every day, and I've got systems. You have to know numbers in your business. You have to be presidential with numbers,
Oh, I
know,
like that.
right?
Residential with
Yes.
numbers. That's great.
Yeah, the language of business is numbers and dollars. So if I know I put in so many activities and I know that I'm going to get X output at the end, then I just need to get really attached to the activities and not attached to the results, and the results end up coming,
Mm-hmm.
right? I know that I have to ask for business 15 times a day as a sales agent, or 15 times a week, 15 asks a week.
I was all, whoa, 15 times a
Yeah.
day. Go with the
Yeah, I shoot for 15 calls a day, but I'm
Yeah.
shooting for 15 asks a week. So let's talk about the sales prospecting,
Yes.
how you do that. So that's those are key numbers, right?
Mhm.
I also do some really good digital farming. One of the things we have with our company at EXP is we have with this CRM called KV Core,
Mhm.
and I can go get emails and phone numbers from title companies, and I can now interact with people in farm areas digitally,
Mhm.
and I'll put everybody on a search alert. I'll put everybody on a market report, and then they're going to get one video email a month from me about the community. So now they develop a relationship with me, and they don't even know me. And that's how I get listing appointments. I
I
write
love
three
that.
notes a day, 3 notes a day for the last 23 years. And notes are meant to be written about that person, not me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A good note. By the way, you could just write notes, ladies, and that's all you did. If you just wrote notes, you could still have a huge business. I believe in that 100%. You write them in blue ink, you write them on a slant. Psychologists say that that's really important, so I try to do that. And I say something that I love about that person. I will compliment them on something specific that I just absolutely applaud them for and appreciate them for. And I don't talk about, yeah, I want to sell your house or blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't believe the amount of calls I get because they know I'm a real estate agent,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to connect with them at a very, very deep level. So when I'm calling them every month, something you should be doing with your sphere, and going through the Ford method, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, those are meaningful calls, right? So those are just a few of the ways that I touch my sphere. But if you got those basic rhythms down and you're like doing that very, very well, you're gonna do very well in real estate.
Blue ink.
That's good, huh?
I,
This is
I've
the
been
card
failing.
writer.
I've been failing on the blue ink. I don't have any blue pens. So take note, everybody. Blue ink and slant
Slant.
your writing. So okay. That's also in boot camp. I forgot. So thanks for the second suggestion on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's a lot of different ways that you can just get more business. You want to have several poles in the water, right, for lead sources. But you don't want to have so many that you become mediocre at many things. And that's what a lot of agents do is they try to do too many things. They try to do like 5 or 6 things. And I just say, listen, why don't you begin with becoming excellent and master working your sphere, and then go work on one other mechanism for getting new people. That could be open houses. It could be door knocking. It could be farming. It could be business to business. It could be networking, charity. It's an infinite list of ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then you go out and you master one. If you're going to do open houses, be the best doggone open house person you've ever seen. I like commit to being the very best in your city.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have an open house, it's like an event. Everybody's like, I got to go to Courtney's open house.
Mhm.
Boom, right? And then you're bringing in people every single week. I remember when I was doing open houses way back in '03 and '04 and '05, and then the market dipped in '06, and I was doing open houses for $150,000 homes every weekend, and I was setting multiple appointments on Monday and Tuesday every single week. It's just what I did, so you got to commit to being masterful in one thing, and then you work your sphere masterfully and you will win. And you just keep on adding more as you get good. Maybe there's another lead source you add after you master open houses, and that's the rhythm,
With consistency.
Yeah,
Mhm.
consistency. is the
Showing
name of-
up. So there were a lot of nuggets in that. Let's recap.
Yeah.
Becoming masterful at one thing,
Mhm.
writing notes
In blue ink.
and blue ink and on a slant.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the savers tip every morning, starting your morning out with that. We've got, what else did he touch on? There's something else
the
I missed in there.
consistency of and working your sphere, right? With using your time block with your schedule.
And if you're afraid to make those cold calls, address what the fear is all about, or maybe it's not fear, but whatever the issue is, address that. So lots of gold nuggets, Jeff. I'm curious, do you offer coaching?
I do.
I mean, I know I'm exposed to a little bit of it, or we
Mhm.
are,
Yeah.
but for agents that are listening, maybe you could speak about what services you do offer.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I do, and I love it. I have clients that I meet on a regular basis every week for 30 minutes, and there's accountability because 80% of success is accountability. If you don't have it in real estate, or for that matter, anything, you're going to be isolated. So we meet every week for 30 minutes. There's a spreadsheet I have them fill out prior to the meeting, and every single week we're making pivots. We're looking at their goals at the end of the year, and we reverse engineer everything so they will hit their goals at the end of the year. And I'm constantly helping them make pivots. And we talk about everything from branding to their marketing plan, to their business plan, their systems, their leverage, their team development, if they're hiring people. I've done all that in my career, and I kind of just feel like I'm at that pinnacle right now where I can talk to any issue, and I just love coaching people. It's my passion. It's why I do this every day. I want to leave a legacy, and I want to help people produce for their families, right? I want them to win for their families, and that's important, because when people are winning for their families, their self-esteem is like huge, right? And there's self-worth. So yes, I love coaching. People can reach out to me, non-obligation. I can tell them what I do and see if it's a good fit.
Now, coaching is available to all agents, regardless of where they're
Yep.
hanging their license. So
Yep.
EXP, non-EXP, anywhere in the country.
Yep, broker agnostic.
Yep.
I have coached many independent broker owners as well, because I've done that, and I know exactly where they're at and their trajectory of their growth. So I can help them with that. If you're an agent that wants to go from 12 deals a year to 24, I'll help you get that done too. So I'm very open, and I've got a couple slots available. So if anybody's interested, have them call me.
Okay. Well, let's see. JeffSutherlin.com, JeffSutherlin.com. And Courtney will put this on the information on the podcast.
Yes.
But wow, what a treat to have you with us today, Jeff. We super appreciate you coming on. Courtney,
Yes.
did you have anything else?
Well, I just know that Jeff is a rock star. We first met him at EXPCon back in October, and we've been trying to mirror his actions and what he's doing. So we feel very blessed to have had the opportunity for you to chat with us today. I think there's a lot of agents out there that will get so much from what you spoke on, and hopefully some of them will snag your last few spots for coaching.
I'm going to
It
send
might be us.
your
No.
information to the person that I talked to yesterday. So,
Well, I just want to say you guys are such a joy to work with, and you're such a blessing. It's like, that's the beauty of this business. We meet so many amazing people, and I get the blessing of working with you guys every day. And I just you guys are a gift. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to this. And if you have an opportunity to work with these two ladies, you have a serious opportunity. So I would really, I would very much encourage you to meet with them.
Aw, thank
That's
you,
another
Jeff.
plug. These are like unsolicited plugs. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that.
Success leaves clues, right? You guys have a proven track record, and now you're doing it again. And that's what happens. You work with good people, and you tend to just rise up to their level. So work with these two, and you're going to win. Period.
Aw,
So
thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, we will see you when we
Probably with our coaching call on Monday.
yeah, coaching call and in person, maybe later this year. But thank
Sounds
you
good.
so much, Jeff. We appreciate your time. We'll
Okay,
see you on
you
the
guys-
next episode of Now.
Bye.